Hurts, slant, Brown, lunge, touchdown Philadelphia. A.J. Brown snatched it out of the air for the score. Check swing, well hit ball, and there it goes. Number 300 for Ken Griffey Jr. One of the youngest ever in the major leagues to reach the 300 home run plateau.
Bothered by Lou. Iverson.
How about that?
Steps over Teron Lou.
7 straight points by Iverson.
Ladies and gentlemen, testing 1 2 1 2, testing 1 2 1 2. Can you guys hear me? Hopefully there is not any type of lag whatsoever. So make sure that you guys can hear me. Let me know in the comment section. Testing 1 2 1 2, testing 1 2 1 2. Ladies and gentlemen, it is your boy Louis coming back at you with another one. We're doing 2 live streams tonight. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Make sure your post notifications are turned on. Make sure you're sharing on your social media platforms. Truly appreciate it. Peace and blessings to everybody tonight on this Thursday as we are headed closer to the weekend. Tomorrow is Friday, or as I like to say, Friday. But we have quite a big topic to talk about here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, because it's made headlines since yesterday. But what I want to tell you guys is that this story between these two men go even deeper than what Mr. Soenn had said yesterday about what I'm about to talk about here on the channel. So right now, what I have to do is I got to copy and paste some stuff right now onto the live stream that I got coming up. Also, ladies and gentlemen, make sure later on tonight, I am doing Czech Republic against China for the World Baseball Classic. For those who don't know about the World Baseball Classic, it's basically a tournament that has all the countries, though the countries that qualified that are in 4 pools from Pool A to Pool D. They're playing right now, and it's started March 7th, and it's going to be from March 7th to March 21st, with the semifinals happening pretty much later on in a couple of weeks. But before, I know some of you guys are going to be in the comment section, but let me just copy this real quick, and then let me just put it to the other stream so that I could get that ready. So by the time that I do that, because the game is supposed to start at 10, but I wanted to do this because I want to get as much as I can from this stream for tonight, because I know a lot of people have already got their suspicions on, what Mr. Soenn has said, because I said, again, these guys have had prior beef, and I'm wondering why he came up with these comments now when their beef was around, we're talking what, 11 years ago, almost 12 years ago. So this is why it's very important, and I have to mention that. Yo, it always is, isn't it? And it's gonna get even worse. But let me just real quick, let me just do this in the meantime. But salute to everybody in the chat. Salute to Zeddy. Salute to Sean. Salute to Empty the Sports Clip. Salute to Karam. Salute to Daniel. Salute to everybody in the chat right here in the chat. Appreciate y'all, man. As always. All right, let me copy and paste this so that I'll be ready for tonight's game. I got to see how long this game goes, too, though. Oh, wait. Oh, my God. Look what I did. I just put the wrong one. Also, ladies and gentlemen, I put a poll in the community post for which game would you like me and G Money to do tomorrow, because me and G Money are going to be calling the game, whichever one that's going to be voted. So we have 4 games. We have the Nets and the Timberwolves. We have the Blazers and the Sixers. I believe that hasn't even gotten a vote as of yet, but I have to check again. We have the Raptors and the Lakers, and then we have the Cavaliers and the Heat. So whichever one you guys choose, make your pick in the community post. But we're going to get onto this topic as soon as I just finish putting this real quick. And let me see. Did I was able to pin it? Okay, it's pinned. Perfect. All right. And even though if you don't like baseball, I definitely would appreciate it if you guys hit the like button on the upcoming stream that I got coming up just right about 10 o'clock. Definitely appreciate that, though. Thank you guys so much. All right. Now that I've gotten that out of the way, let's talk about what's going on. So, in just under 24 hours, ladies and gentlemen, we have a former MMA star Chael Soenn, and I know him pretty well because I saw him fight Anderson Silva back in 2011. Guess what, folks? He has come out and he was speaking with Andrew Schultz, the comedian, and basically had alleged, because this is allegedly, said that LeBron James, him and LeBron, get their performance-enhancing drugs from the same doctor, from the same, medical person. And the problem is, it's created such buzz that my question to LeBron James is, I wonder why LeBron has not even tried to sue if the allegations are true. Now, I know some people are already saying that we know LeBron has been using performance-enhancing drugs for a long time, right? Because this all stems from the biogenesis report that was in Miami in 2013. And what I wanted to show people is that this claim that Chael Soenn has said, which I'm going to read in a second. I have two articles, one from yesterday and one from 2013. And the stuff that you're going to hear in this one is going to be crazy. So it says UFC fighter Chael Soenn claims that LeBron James takes PEDs through the same drug guy. Right. So it says that the sports world on social media believes that the king should respond. And a lot of people are upset, especially the LeBron cult. They are going crazy. And the old saying, it's innocent until proven guilty. But there's a lot of complications with this if these allegations are to be true. So now continuing in what was said. Let me see. No, this wasn't it. Let me go back because there's another article that I wanted to check. I thought I had it on here. But so far on the allegations, what do you guys think of the allegations? Do you think the allegations are true on what LeBron is being alleged that he's taken? Because according to reports and according to Soenn, he says that he takes EPO. He takes EPO. And I forgot how you pronounce. No, this isn't it. See, I don't even want to get copyrighted for even trying to play the tape, play the video, basically. I don't even want to do that. Is it Marca? Let me see if it's Marca. Let me see if the thing is there. Because there's just a lot of king. Okay. So it says, although Soenn did not reveal who this provider was, he maintained his claim against LeBron. So this is what he says. He was on the Flagrant 2 podcast and he made serious accusations against LeBron. He openly stated that he has the same performance-enhancing drugs PED provider, implying that he actually takes PEDs, which is an incredibly serious accusation. But like I said before, with reports of LeBron's past when it comes to his PED allegations, not really surprised because I've heard it since 2012 because LeBron was accused of using Balco at that time. 2013, his name appeared in the biogenesis report with Jameer Nelson back when he was a Miami Heat player. We have the situation where that mysterious time that when LeBron gained 7 pounds in a playoff game. And I think LeBron at the time, I think this was 2014, I think at the time against the Pacers in the conference finals, LeBron was 273 from what was reported, and he was 280. And I was asking, how do you gain 7 pounds in a playoff game? Like, that to me was really mysterious. In the comments section, Zeddy says, if I said what I knew, people would be shocked. Sean says, bro, when someone says the specific drug and knows the plug with confidence, I would avoid it too. And he says, even if he did sue, forget about Forget about EPO. The court is going to look at and expose the $1 million investment that LeBron uses for his body, which leads me to my next thing before I continue reading this article, ladies and gentlemen. We hear this all the time that LeBron spends $1.5 million on his body. Now, just imagine if this gets exposed to the court, because they're going to investigate and do everything in their power to see what drugs was he really taking. Because again, he's been alleged to different types of PEDs over the years since 2012. And people also have to remember, you got to ask yourself this question: why has LeBron kept his beard for as long as he has? Some people are going to say, well, LeBron, why can't he grow a beard? Here's the thing. LeBron's had that Abraham Lincoln beard for a long time. Do people remember that he had a growth in his right jaw? I think it was in his right jaw. And this was when he was in Cleveland, not even when he was in Miami. He had that little thing when he was in Cleveland. Zeddy, you're right. And I said that these guys weren't going to handle it. Listen, I've seen a lot of people start to panic right now when it comes to this situation. Let me continue. The NBA forbids any type of PED in the tournament, but their weak PED programs have been criticized for years. Soenn aired a rumor that was not as prominent in the past about LeBron James. Also, guys, y'all remember when the NBA was trying to go and do a strict drug testing? CP3 and LeBron James opposed it right away. Now you have to ask yourself, why would they oppose that? And this was back in 2014. That's when LeBron decided to shed the pounds, and he looked so skinny. I almost didn't recognize Bron when he lost all that weight. And then the thing is also, what I want people to do is I want people to look at the first 2.5 months of that 2014-2015 season when Bron came back for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Take a look at his numbers. Take a look at his numbers in the first 2.5 months of the season, and you're going to see that he did not look like himself. And I'm saying to myself, and Bron was only what, 28, 29 years old at the time? No, he was 29. He wasn't even 30. And I remember watching him play those first 2.5 months, and I said, Bron could barely jump. Like, he couldn't do anything. He really couldn't do anything. He was having trouble finishing at the rim. Like, we already know Bron has always been a poor free throw shooter, but that's not as important as like when he's trying to score the basketball. Like, he didn't look explosive. He was having a hard time getting by guys. And I'm like, wait a minute, but this is a guy at 29 years old. And it's like, I was like, and this is what's considered to be the prime of your career, and you're having trouble getting past guys? Sean says that the weirdest part about this is that LeBron, during his days in Miami, has never played all 82 games, and he was at his most complete as a player. I think the most games LeBron played, was either 78 or 80, one of those two in Miami. But he's never played a full 82 game season. Remember, LeBron didn't play a full 82 game season until his 15th season. That was when the media was celebrating it like crazy that he played 82 games, and it's like, dude, there's other great players that have played 82 games multiple years, back-to-back years, more than one time. But it was a celebration because LeBron was the one that, played 82 games for, that season. Okay, but the person says his intention to say this about LeBron was not to accuse him of any wrongdoing. All he wants is for the stigma to go away. That is what he said. If the world understood what Bron did, what these performance enhancers did, then you would know why it does matter. We have the same drug guy. I know exactly what he's doing. EPO matters. It's the reason LeBron takes it. EPO increases your red blood cells, which gives you endurance so that you can play all game long. And remember that Skip and Shannon always talk about how LeBron is Iron Man. He's durable. And you know what's so crazy that people kind of let slip under the radar? A couple of years ago, right at the time that the Black Panther movie came out, the first one, I'm not talking about Wakanda Forever, the one that had Chadwick Boseman before he passed away, rest in peace. Skip and Shannon had made a little funny claim that when LeBron was in Miami, when he came back to Cleveland and took a little 2-week vacation, he went to go get a little bit of vibranium. Why would you say that? Why would you say that? See, when you say stuff like that, to other casuals, it's like, oh, it's not a big deal. They're just making a joke, but it's like his name has been linked for such a long time. I remember Brown was nursing a ankle injury and a quote unquote back injury when he went down to Miami. And I was like, I've never heard a player take 2 weeks, which is crazy. Here's the thing, though. Do I think that LeBron did it? It's hard to say because it's easy for me to say, well, LeBron didn't take it. But the problem is his name has been linked for years. His name has been linked for years. When he went back to Cleveland, I heard he was on roids. It's like, it's not, this isn't new. And I know some people will get upset and they're like, well, Michael Jordan, I mean, he used steroids. People have talked about Kobe Bryant doing that little plasma joint that when he went to Germany, for his knee. But I've always said, if you look at Kobe, I'm like, Kobe never looked like, he never struck me as a big guy anytime I saw him. Like, Kobe looked cut, he looked strong, but Kobe looked like Kobe looked like he added some muscle. Like, you could kind of see it, but it wasn't crazy. Like, it wasn't crazy to be like, oh my God, did you see Kobe's transformation? Like, yo, like Kobe looked crazy. Nobody ever talked about that, about his body like that. Nobody's ever done it like that. Never. Never used to happen like that. And see, but here's the problem, though. This is a very slippery slope, as Sean said, because here's the thing. If LeBron was to sue, the courts are going to look into it. Another problem is if LeBron gets caught, this is a bad look for the NBA. The NBA is going to do its very best to cover this stuff up. They've already done it because when the biogenesis report came out, that got swept under the rug and people stopped talking about it after that. When he took his 2-week vacation, it got swept under the rug. And what I'm saying is that now I said this a few months back. Bron is nearing the end of his career. A lot of stuff has been swept under the rug. A lot of stories have been kind of quiet. I mean, I know J.R. Smith just came out recently and was saying that playing with LeBron is a gift and a curse, right? But people might say, that's not much of a big deal. But remember, what was JR made to be? The scapegoat after what happened in that game 1 against the Warriors. Now I'm hearing from Colin Cowherd, who I have not even watched, and I can't even remember the last time I watched him, but I've just been watching YouTube videos. I've been watching some YouTubers that have been talking about Colin Cowherd because I bet they're probably still watching him. But he's already talked about that LeBron and AD, apparently they're beefing, and that Colin was tipped. He was tipped. In other words, he got a little paycheck, and I'm like, I'm wondering from who. And I'm like, I told you guys, they're gonna be coming after Bron like crazy. They're gonna do it. But people didn't want to listen. They're just a bunch of haters and all this kind of stuff. I'm telling you, bro. Let me look in the comment section. Sean says, now, Louis, I'm one of LeBron's biggest critics. Me and you always disagree with each other on LeBrick, but I had never accused LeBron of doing that nonsense. Like I said before, a part of me thinks that there's a possibility he might have took it, and a part of me also says we don't know what's going to come out because you're going to hear so many people come out from different areas. You're going to have people coming from outer space, people coming out from left field, people throwing curveballs on this whole PED situation. And the reason that I mentioned this man is because him and LeBron have beef, and their beef stems back from when he used to be an MMA fighter. So I got to pull this up. See, because Soenn is acting like he's a different man. He's on good terms. This guy's still taking PEDs. and he's still using EPO. He's still using the EPO. He admitted it. I mean, it's going as far as this, folks. Now they're saying, is LeBron James connected to hormone replacement therapy? To be perfectly clear, we are not saying that Soenn is correct when he says LeBron is using PEDs. In recent years, hormone replacement therapy has been one of the most prominent practices among athletes. This isn't like the old school steroids which were dangerous and lack medical studies. HRT is highly beneficial for people who are past their prime age. Anybody who is a pro athlete and well into his 30s will benefit from this therapy. Soenn was just trying to make it look like more normal, but his claims can easily backfire. One of the biggest issues with the use of PEDs is that a lot of athletes do it, but there's a stigma attached to it that it's going to be hard to shake off. Every single time a celebrity is asked about this, they tend to change the subject or the conversation. Very few humans in the world can maintain a physique like LeBron or other veterans like him without using HRT. The ones who stay that fit and muscular without PEDs are usually genetic marvels or freaks in nature. LeBron is definitely one of the more fortunate athletes with that type of freak genetics. So going back to the comment section, let me just check. Pookie Man says, what will happen when Braun gets canceled? The whole league is going to get exposed like the WWE. We already know about the WWE and its multiple steroid scandals over the years. Take a look at the one in 1993. It's kind of part of the reason Hogan kind of got out of there at the time he did. He had the right time. Jay says Kobe's PRP wasn't banned in the US or NBA. It just wasn't approved in the US. Number of athletes have done the same procedure. Oh, yeah, I know. Tracy McGrady. He was another one that did the same thing. Sean says Jordan played both baseball and basketball since adolescence, played 82 games in multiple seasons and played through injury. That's not steroids. That's pure determination. Okay, says him. I got no problem with that comment because I respect what you're saying. Because Michael has played baseball since he was a kid. That was his dad's first love. And it's like, I feel like people just don't, oh, that's a bunch of BS, man. You know, nobody ever said that Michael was a good baseball player. Like, he wasn't like going to be a standout star or anything like that. We just letting you know that Michael played baseball when he was a kid. There's multiple pictures of Michael when he was a kid playing baseball. It's not new. Sean says stem cell surgery isn't steroids. No, it's not. No, it's not. Zeddy says that Soenn also made a claim that Braun made a pass at his wife in 2013 and I was a jerk to kids. Thank you. I was just about to get to that. So this is the reason that Soenn does not like LeBron, and it stems back from that time. He's making it seem like if things are good, and it's like he's just not trying to make it a thing. So this article came out in 2013, folks. Y'all remember Jim Rome? For those who remember Jim Rome, the Rome is Burning that used to be on ESPN. 1 week ago, UFC light heavyweight champion Chael Soenn, UFC light heavyweight Chael Soenn appeared on the Jim Rome Show on the cable network Showtime. In this installment of the popular sports talk show, Soenn gave his candid opinions on Miami Heat superstar LeBron James and four-time MVP. And by this point, Bron had already won his fourth MVP. And this is right around the time that Bron was in the finals against San Antonio, because this is when this article came out. He says, and I quote, "I think LeBron's a dork. He won one world championship, and that was in the Olympic Games. It's so aggravating to hear a title be called a world champion when it's only done in America. It's not a global event where the whole world can participate. You didn't win a world title, you won a national title." So that's his beef there. Now it says, to me, this is from the article in 2013, the shot at James came out of nowhere. I never heard Soenn mention LeBron's name anywhere, which is what he kind of did yesterday. Why was he starting now? Was he being Chael, or was there something more to the story? Because Chael has been known for this. I mean, I remember his issue with Anderson Silva, but they're on good terms now. Not in 2011 at that time. So check this out. It says, I had to know, so I connected Soenn on Tuesday evening while James was helping guide the Heat to a 103-100 win in Game 6 of the NBA Finals. In a thrilling NBA Finals Game 6. What follows is a transcript of our very candid interview. So this interview he did with Bleacher Report. So Bleacher Report says, what prompted, so they asked a question to Soenn, and it says, what prompted you to call LeBron James a dork on the Jim Rome show? Is there any sort of history between the two of you, right? I'm going to get to the comment section in just a second. Soenn says his name being brought up prompted it. He makes Steve Urkel look cool. I would have liked to call him a twat. Haven't heard that word in a long time. But they changed subjects. And he says, let me tell you a story about Bron. He asked the UFC for tickets for my fight against Anderson Silva. This was when Bron first came to Miami. We sit the guy front row, and all through the night, he snubs our fans. He's a guest in our house, and he refuses to sign any autographs or take any pictures unless your cup size was later in the alphabet than he was able to learn. So it was also like if he was taking a shot at his intelligence too, not just the fact that he didn't really, that he really didn't try to sign autographs for the kids when he was at the event, but yet he asked to get tickets. And also he says, and from what I understand, he thinks the letter purple comes after the letter C. This guy walked up to my fiance backstage, and this is the issue with his wife, and asked her if there's a tic tac in her blouse or if she was just happy to see him. Then, according to Soenn, he says, I had a UFC employee tell me he saw a mother wheel her handicapped child up to him to get a picture. LeBron was walking towards them. When he reached the kid, the mother stopped the wheelchair. LeBron took the wheelchair, wheeled it out of the way, and just kept walking. I'd like to slap the divots right off his face. Now, there's more to the story, but I'm going to get to the comment section. Let me get to the comment section. Jay says steroids and PEDs are overlooked in wrestling. Example, Brock Lesnar failed multiple tests in the UFC and went back to wrestling. I remember. That's correct. I mean, I could tell you a bunch of guys who are still using it. I mean, I know Triple H fans aren't going to like this, but Triple H he's been using for quite a long time. Paul Levesque, and I love Triple H, but the Iron Man title is so wrong. Karl Malone is the real Iron Man, to be honest. I mean, you can make the case John Stockton was the Iron Man too. I think John Stockton only had, 2 seasons in which he didn't play at least 80 games in a season, I think. And those were probably his early years when he was still trying to work his way into the starting lineup for the Jazz. But that's why people are saying that they feel that the longevity award is more impressive in terms of Kareem than it is LeBron. And then you look at guys like Karl Malone and John Stockton. I feel like those guys were true Iron Men in terms of what they did. And then Zeddy says, Soenn also said that Bron pushed a kid with a wheelchair out of the way and only gave autograph to chicks. Pookie Man says, wow. He says, nah, Lesnar went back to wrestling because MMA had taken the toll on his body. Alistair Overeem was juice in that last Brock Lesnar fight. I mean, obviously we got John Jones, who also got caught twice for his PED drug use as well. So, but yeah, that is the quote unquote history. I mean, quite honestly, it even goes deeper than that because when Bron was trying to go out with some of the Olympic competitors and the Olympic athletes when they were in Beijing, like there's stories about that too. I forgot who was I think he asked a swimmer out on a date. He had asked, I think it was a snowboarder out on a, no, not a snowboarder. Sorry. No. It was definitely I know he definitely asked a swimmer. I remember that. Yeah, Dana's been trying to hide some of these tests, man, especially because of how big of a draw Brock Lesnar is. He tried to hide it, which is why he went back to wrestling. It wasn't because MMA took a toll on his body. It's actually the other way around. The WWE schedule took a toll on Brock's body, which is why he ended up leaving the company. And then going to UFC, because he failed the drug test, is when he went back. He decided to go back. Things were different. And Zeddy says, let's say all of this is true. What happens to LeBron's legacy? Because LeBron's fans' biggest argument is how he's never been in the public scandal or never been in trouble. This is probably the worst thing that can happen to LeBron right now in this current time. This is what I also have to say, folks. And you guys start thinking about this too. Notice that this came out in the month of March, right? Notice also, why do you think LeBron James has been talking about his son, pushing him to be such a top recruit? LeBron James wants to play as long as he can to avoid these kind of story headlines. That's why he's playing. And that's why I think that, in my opinion, I think he's still insecure about his place as an all-time great. Because think about it. He's talked about he hates the fact that he's not mentioned as a scorer. He hates the fact that he wants to be mentioned as in the same breath as Tom Brady and Michael Jordan. He thought that passing Kareem was going to make him the greatest player of all time. The funny thing is the media talked about it leading up to LeBron getting scoring and passing him, and look what's happened. The media is not talking about it anymore. They're not talking about it anymore. LeBron really thought that this record was going to be talked about way after that he passed Kareem. And if you look at Kareem that day, I mean, he didn't want to look like he was sour grapes and decided to give the ball to Bron and give him a dap. But let's face it, those two are not on good terms, and LeBron has been trolling Kareem for the last couple of years because of what Kareem said about LeBron and some of his comments when it comes to being active, and in terms of his activism as a quote unquote more than an athlete. So I mean, the NFL's players, I mean, a lot of guys have failed drug tests in the NFL. It's gotten better though. It's gotten better. I mean, Sean Merriman is the first person that comes to mind when I think about failing a drug test. And I thought he was one of the more talented linebackers in the NFL. Yo, shout out to King G in the building. He says, man, I just watched the movie House Party, and in the movie, LeBron says multiple times he's a MFing GOAT. Even in the movie, he's pushing him being the GOAT, and it's just not working. You know what's crazy? I didn't watch House Party. I didn't watch Space Jam. LeBron did both of those movies, and both of those movies are not great. Maybe to another person, they thought the movie was great, and it's their personal opinion. But I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I mean, Space Jam LeBron got voted worst actor for that award. I mean, like I said, some people like it, and it's their opinion. I don't, take it as you leave it. But I mean, LeBron's calling himself the GOAT. And look at it, and look at this. Bron then goes, well, House Party flopped and Space Jam flopped too. Then Bron goes, I had a dream with MJ. The score was 95-94, and we were going back and forth. He was in UNC, and I was at Duke. And I had to stop and say, well, LeBron, you didn't go to college. You didn't go to college. So that's a nice dream to have, but it was like even in your dream, you were trying to make yourself the GOAT by beating Michael Jordan in college. I'm like, okay, but that's head-to-head in college. What you do in the NBA matters. Like, take a look at Irvin Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. Indiana State against Michigan State. Magic beat Larry Bird in the title game, right? When they faced each other in the NBA. Magic won. He won 2-1 when they met 3 times in the finals. So, because let's say that Magic Johnson beat Larry Bird in college, but Larry Bird, every time head to head, he beat him in the pros. What's going to hold more weight? When you got to the professional level, when you got to the NBA level, the world stage, Larry Bird was better than you. When you're going against better competition, better, more complete players, Larry Bird will win. The problem is that he cannot fathom the fact that he's not being talked about when he's been talked about just about every single day. People are complaining about, well, no matter what, you guys find a way to talk about LeBron, and it's sickening. And he's more obsessed. I said, no, LeBron is more obsessed that you guys are talking about him. Whether it's good or bad, this is great for LeBron because it gives him an out and it gives him an excuse for him to say something. If he doesn't have to say anything, because as long as you guys do the work for him, it's all good. Bron doesn't have to come out. He doesn't have to say anything. It's all good. And the crazy part is that every single time that Bron has gone for a milestone in his career, he's always lost. That's crazy. He's never won when it's happened, bro. It's never happened. King G says, I think the main reason people don't like LeBron is he comes off pretentious and doesn't seem genuine. With Jordan, we knew he was great. We didn't have to have him tell us multiple times. And this is what I said about LeBron. Kevin McHale said it when LeBron called himself to go on The Shot. You don't have to tell us that you're great. We know that you are. All you have to do is just continue to prove it. Did you hear? Listen, I've said this before and I'll say it again. There is nothing wrong with you believing that you're the best ever. That's what makes you great, when you believe that you're better than everybody you've gone against, even if it's not true. That's the problem. But the problem is when you come out publicly and say that you're the greatest of all time, but you have an excuse every single time for your shortcomings, how does that make you look? You're very passive aggressive with your comments. You don't stand on some of the comments that you make. And when your comments don't come to fruition, you have to pull back. Look what LeBron did to his son, Bronny. He basically said just 2 days ago, my son, Bronny, better than a lot of cats in the NBA. By you saying that, that basically means that you're basically saying that your era is weak, that some of the players are weak. With the advanced medicine, with the nutrition, with the technology, why are so many guys getting hurt? And the excuse has been because of the floor spacing. I said they're like, because of the floor spacing, it's a lot harder for guys to be. It's harder for guys because now when they have to go up and down on the court and the spacing and so much ground to cover on defense. I said, I'm like, well, if that's the case, how were the Clippers and the Kings able to put up 176 and 175 points? If that's the case, there's no defense being played. None. Like that's the part that doesn't really make sense. And then LeBron is talking about Duke, but I'm like, you're the kid from Akron. That's what you constantly say. Like that to me is crazy. Mr. Moho says, bro, you know he was joking, right? In terms of what? Let me know. No man said, oh, I know LeBron's era is weak. Let me see. Jay says, how do you have a dream about Duke when he said he would have gone to Ohio State? I mean, it's simple, because Carolina's rival was Duke. Mr. Mojo says about the LeBron thing. Well, here's the thing. He shouldn't have joked like that, because by now joking, what's going to cause is going to cause a lot of speculation. And like I said, these were his words. Even if people want to take it at face value, look, people say that LeBron should sue him for defamation of character. But my thing is, I know LeBron is not going to sue. LeBron's not going to sue because you know that it's going to start to get into an investigation and people are going to start looking deep. And you just have to, and look, and I'm pretty sure that LeBron's kind of looking at the NBA and it's going to be like, are they going to be able to find a way to cover up? Because, like I said, I don't know if these allegations are true. There's been speculation for years. He hasn't gotten caught. If he do, that's the problem. And like I said before, this is what David Stern did. He put all his marketing chips on Michael Jordan, and the league is still searching for the next Jordan. LeBron is LeBron. He's not Jordan. He's been talked about, and the media has tried to force us. He's been trying. Well, you know what? No. Let me not speak for everybody. Let me just speak for myself in this case, because I know if I say something like that, it's going to be like, who are you talking about? You don't speak for everybody. All right. I'm going to say this. The media has tried to force upon me when I watch on how great LeBron is and what he does for the community, what LeBron does as a basketball player. He's great. And I've seen a lot of crazy takes over the years. The problem is that when you listen to it, it sounds so manufactured. Listen, there were a lot of cats that did not like Jordan when he was at the top. Dude, by 93, they were tired of Jordan. There was quite a few cats around that time period that were tired of Jordan being on top. It's just there was no social media back then. And I'm pretty sure there would have been a lot more if social media existed. But there was a good amount of people that were tired of Jordan being on top. I mean, look at the gambling allegations that happened. I mean, look, I'm on record as stating I feel like the gambling issue is why Jordan was out of the game, so that the league didn't look into that. But the problem is by Soenn joking like that, you just open the floodgates. Now people are going to be more brave and come out. And the thing is also, you got to kind of, the thing is, if you're LeBron, you got to have to be careful now, because it's like you're kind of wondering who else has he kind of been around with, associated with, that will probably have the guts to come out and come up with these kind of stories, whatever they were talking about with him, whatever the case is. That's the problem, because the thing is, people have this. Why you think ESPN loves Michael Jordan so much? They love him this much. They've tried to force the GOAT debate, but we're constantly saying, who's the next Jordan? Who's the next Jordan? Jordan is not the one. Jordan is being compared to nobody. Every single player that has come post Jordan have been compared to him. And the fact that people can't see that is the crazy part. Because my thing is, why would you say it's a joke like that? Especially knowing the fact that Soenn has had a history problem with LeBron. See, why would you come out and say, oh, I know who his drug dealer is in terms of what I take, because I take the same thing? I'm just not going to tell you. You even heard Schultz say, can you possibly give us info on like who that person is? And he said no. Why would you joke like that? And then people jump on the story because it's like, we've heard this story for years. And the fact that it's coming out now because Bron is at the end of his career, it just makes you wonder, ladies and gentlemen. And this is why I said that it's dangerous for Bron, because you're linked to all these PEDs. And my fear is that biogenesis report is going to come out at some point. It is going to. If they somehow can erase it, Bron is safe. And then we'll just always play that game of we'll never know. And the fanboys are always going to go, oh, yeah, well, he's never been part of a public scandal. And it's like, I feel like there's a lot of multiple scandals right now that he's been part of. This is why LeBron is quiet. He's not going to come out, because if he does come out and start talking, they're going to investigate. Hell, they're going to investigate regardless if he doesn't even say anything. The problem is LeBron's personality, especially in these last couple of seasons, is the reason why people are kind of pretty much, they're getting tired of him and they're trying to move on. This is the way of saying, because it's like I said, the NBA can only do so much when it comes to him. What can they really do? Because the thing is, the NBA is not really going to be able to stop somebody that may come out of nowhere and come out with a different report. And they're going to be like, oh, wow, he was linked to that? No, it's false. And they can have proper documentation, and the next thing you know, all hell is going to break loose. Jay says, you do realize bringing up a name in sports is a negative manner. It's just not. It's just that Soenn opened the floodgates, and I feel like he has some personal feelings that he decided to bring out, even though he want to say it's a joke. Why would you say that during this time? And like I said before, guys, why do you think LeBron is constantly talking about his son? Why is LeBron talking about wanting respect? All of these things. Pau Gasol just got his jersey retired next to Kobe Bryant. LeBron is, in his mind, he's hopefully thinking he was going to get a statue. Because remember, LeBron was thinking about being an owner of the NBA. He was thinking of being an owner, but that's going to be nicked. Because think about it, what owner in the NBA is going to have an entourage like Clutch Sports in it? No other owner has that. No, every other owner in the NBA doesn't affiliate with, an agency that's in the NBA. But people are going to celebrate it like, oh, LeBron's the first. And it's like, and the thing is, LeBron has got a history of deleting tweets and not staying on his word. And it's like you dry snitch on yourself by saying your son is better than a lot of NBA players. And I'm just like, bro, you pushed your son to be a top recruit when he was barely top 30. And that's no disrespect to Bronny by any means. But he's pushing the reason that LeBron is pushing for his son real hard is because he's trying to stay relevant. And it's almost making it feel like he's just saying anything to stay relevant, even though everybody knows who he is. Because he knows, I feel like deep down LeBron knows that he's not going to be as talked about by the time that he retires. And that's very narcissistic, pathological behavior because he's obsessed with being talked about. He's obsessed. I know the fanboys are like, oh, man, you're obsessed because you're constantly talking about him all the damn time. Not really. Ask yourself this question. When have I ever constantly, every single day, make a video about LeBron James? There's times that I haven't even been doing streams, whether live or uploads on LeBron. I've made videos about, a lot of videos about Bron, but every day, no. I just haven't. Yeah, and the thing is that you're going to see a lot of the fanboys, they're going to get so upset that they're going to start trying to bring out the scandals of other NBA players. And I said this also about the NBA. If they're not able to cover it up and LeBron doesn't get caught with these PEDs, it's going to be a bad look for the NBA because now you're going to be like, well, who else is taking the roids and who else are you trying to protect? Because to this day, as King G mentioned, we're still looking for the next Michael Jordan. How many superstars do we really have in the NBA? Because look, LeBron's on his way out. Kevin Durant is getting injury prone, and it's like his body, I think, is starting to tell him, bro, it's almost time. Your body's declining. His game hasn't declined at all. It's his body. It's his injuries that is declining right now. And ladies and gentlemen, since this accusation has come out, has the media talked about it? See, no. They are probably going to talk about it when either things have died down or they won't talk about it at all because they know that this is really serious. I want y'all to go find it at the time that that Shannon Sharpe was like, and Skip talked about when he went to Miami, when he was in Cleveland to get himself a little vibranium, and the guy was jumping out the gym. Bro, y'all need to look at that picture of Bron wearing that hat in 2014 when he lost all that weight, shed off all that muscle. I couldn't recognize the dude. He was almost looking like close to stick figure Bron. That was crazy. And he didn't look like a basketball player. I was like, this ain't the same Bron that I just saw like dunking and all that kind of. Nope. It was totally different. I said, what the hell happened to this man? Shout out to Earl Phillips in the building. What's up? What's going on? Guys, hit that like button. Hit that like button. I'm going to be trying to go live tonight for China and Czech Republic. Definitely appreciate that. Shout out to TJ Gaming. He says Suns fans were immediately going to be scared because they thought Durant was out for the season. Well, they said 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks, but they now said that he's gonna get reevaluated in 2 weeks. So we'll see what happens. It says he has a grade 2 ankle sprain, but we'll see how serious it is. I still think that after that it's going to be. Oh no, I know that they already brought it up, but they're going to bring it up just because of their insecurities. Oh well, Kobe Bryant, he got the PRP when he went to Germany. They're just going to they're going to bring it up just because of how insecure and upset that they are that their beloved king is being accused of something that he's been accused of for a long time. Take a look at the Super Bowl. He put a crown on his head when he got booed. The thing is, a lot of YouTube videos were draining out the noise, so it made it sound like if they didn't even boo him at all. But like I said, I know that he got booed because you just have to look at how Savannah looked at him when he crowned himself. When he crowned himself, and she was like, damn, they really hate you out here. She didn't even know what to say. She was like, damn, it's really that bad? Yep. TJ says, am I hyped for baseball season? Absolutely, man. I want my Yankees to win a World Series. It's championship or bust for us. It's always going to be like that. Sean says LeBron fans are going to feel how Kobe fans felt, except this is a lot worse. Like I said before, and I mentioned it, LeBron fans constantly complaining about how LeBron is talked about and he's the most hated man ever. I said it before. I said, you think this is bad? I said, your boy right here has opened the gates of hell for these accusations to come out. And I've seen a couple of other YouTubers talking about why hasn't LeBron sued for defamation of character? Because LeBron knows deep down. He knows. You're not going to hear him say it because, again, he's going to be quiet about it, but he's not. It's just like he's just going to kind of wait for the calm before the storm. Oh, wait. By the way, I'm still waiting for that storm that Brown was talking about, Like I said, this is the same guy that said, yo, keep that same energy. You keep talking about my squad. I'm never going to miss the playoffs again, and then deleted that tweet because it was looking at one point that the Lakers were going to miss the playoffs for a second straight year. Luckily for LeBron, what saved his bacon is the play of AD and the fact that Rob Pelinka was able to get a trade done to get some pieces. D'Angelo Russell's the only guy I would get rid of, but everybody else, it's fine in terms of what we got. Again, shout out to Michelle's daughter, my Bronx sister. Hope everything is good with you. But this is not a good look for Bron, and it's unfortunate it's happening now. I mean, take a look at Kobe, man. First of all, this is what I don't understand. People are saying, well, I hate the fact that Kobe Bryant fans, they're constantly getting at trying to downplay Pau Gasol and what he did, and that Kobe would have never been anything if he didn't have Shaq and if he didn't have Pau. I hate when people say that because when you say that, does LeBron win his championships without Kyrie Irving, Chris Bosh, Anthony Davis, and Dwayne Wade? And the answer is no. No. Does Shaq win without Kobe? No, because he couldn't win with Penny Hardaway. And Penny Hardaway's career went downhill after Shaq signed with the Lakers. Michael Jordan couldn't win without Scottie Pippen or Dennis Rodman or Phil Jackson. Players are the driving force, but it takes a team to win a championship. It takes a team. So now, J.R. Smith kind of tells you passive aggressively that playing with LeBron is toxic. Kevin Durant already said this years ago. According to Colin Cowherd, AD and LeBron are beefing. Why are all these problems coming out now? Why are all these problems coming out now? That's why, to me, this is why I think also that that LeBron, to me, is trying to also win a championship. Because think about it. When you win a championship, what do you get to talk about? You talk about the championship. You talk about the teams that you beat in the playoffs, and it takes away all the distractions of what should be the real focus. And to me, now Bron he's in desperation mode now. He thought they was going to talk about the scoring record, but they're not even talking about that right now. So now he's trying to push his son, who just ended his high school career. His son got blown out in his son's team got blown out in the last game, because I don't want to put it on Bronny, because again, it's a team. You win as a team, you lose as a team. And this is my problem with Bron. If this is a team sport, why is it everybody else's fault when you lose, but when you win, it's all about you? And not only has LeBron acted like that, but his fanboys just agree with every single thing he say. Oh, man. Nope. King G says, people forget that in 2009 to 2011, people said Kobe was second behind Jordan, and once Kobe retired, people started to rank him 7th or 8th all time. Watch the same thing happen to LeBron after he retires. Well, I mean, it's gone as far with Kobe that he was the 93rd ranked player in 2015 after his injuries. He was ranked, what, 74th the previous year? The crazy part was people wanted Kobe to fail and said you couldn't win without Shaq. He does, and they're like, well, can he possibly surpass Jordan as the greatest shooting guard of all time when he won his 5th title? And I honestly said this, and I said Kobe deserves credit, because I said you won as a number 2 option with Shaq, and you won as a number 1 option with Pau Gasol. Yeah, he played in the same system, but it's not like if Kobe played with the same roster. Kobe played with 2 completely different rosters, and I said Kobe actually went from the ground up. Even if Kobe was trying to leave the Lakers. But I know he did that as a trump card to try to get them to try to put a team together, because his team was really not good to compete for a championship, at least to get out of the Western Conference. So, yeah, Kobe did ask for a trade. Kobe wants to be loyal in the purple and gold, but he just felt that they were not doing enough. I said this numerous times, whether you guys agree or disagree. Kobe's, he's done these things, but the fact is that he proved that he could win without Shaquille O'Neal, and he deserves his props. But it's like now you want to take his MVPs away because, well, he shot horrible in 1 game. I said a lot of guys shot horrible. I know Powell was more, people have talked about Powell's PER. I said, but there's other factors that you're leaving out as to why Kobe should have still been the MVP. Might do that in a future video. Powell was not dominant like Shaq. Powell was giving you what, 17 and 10, 18 and 10, 18 and 11. Like, I don't think Powell even cracked 20 points playing alongside Kobe. But what the scope, what his averages don't tell you is how much tougher and aggressive Powell played. Bro, Powell was playing like a top 10 player when he was playing alongside Kobe, even though he wasn't at that level. But it made you think that he was at that level with the way that Kobe pushed him. And Pau Gasol in his retirement, in his jersey retirement, said Kobe made him a more better and more mentally tougher player. Those were his words. But you got people out here saying that, oh, Kobe didn't make anybody better. he was just nothing but a ball hog. So why did Pau Gasol say that Kobe made him a better player? Some of the Laker players in Kobe's second stint with the Lakers, and I'm talking about post-Shaq, had some of their best seasons playing alongside Kobe Bryant. Those are facts. Those guys will tell you. Jordan Farmar, Ronnie Turiaf, even though he wasn't there for both championships. You know, Josh Powell, you have Trevor Ariza for that 1 year. I guess it's not a surprise, man. When I would go and practice, I would watch highlights of Kobe, Jordan, KD, and Wade, not LeBron. KD himself said he watched Jordan and Kobe to learn the game. The thing about Kobe and Jordan is that KD's a skilled player, so he's going to be looking at how do I become even more skilled by watching those guys play. Those guys were skilled players when you watch the way that they played offensively. Jim Buss didn't do enough for Kobe during the 2000s. He hated Phil, so he wasn't going to do anything. So he pretty much sabotaged that. Oh yeah, JR was smoking that green stuff right before game one. Clearly. Or he probably was smoking it during the locker room, or he probably had himself some Henny. I mean, they don't call him Hennessy Smith for nothing, so. But yeah. Biogenesis connected to, I mean, the crazy part was A-Rod kind of spilled the beans when it came to that biogenesis report. LeBron doesn't really practice with his teammates. He practices by himself, and what he doesn't even really, and again, this is what Kobe talked about. Why he said that European players were catching up to the American game is because those guys practice the fundamentals. American players don't do that in today's era. They don't really practice the fundamentals. They don't really practice the fundamentals. Remember that chick that said LeBron slid in her DMs? Look out for those stories too. Oh, I forgot about that. That's right. It was that white chick. I remember. And that got passed away. It got thrown to the side. That story's going to come out again. And a couple of these Karens that have been thrown out of basketball games, you're going to hear them stories come out too. Some people that LeBron's gotten kicked out of arenas and stuff like that. You'll see. They'll come back. People don't understand how impactful Pau Gasol was, man. I know Pau was having trouble with Memphis. King G makes a great point, and I want people to highlight that. You notice many of Kobe's teammates praise his leadership, Derek Fisher. I mean, and Derek Fisher's known Kobe since they were in the 96 draft together, so that's how long it's been with them. You notice many of Kobe's teammates praise his leadership during the second run. All you hear from LeBron's team, eyes except Wade and Kevin Love, is how stressful it was playing with him. Chris Bosh said it wasn't easy. Kyrie Irving said it wasn't easy. Anthony Davis is finding out that it's not easy. I mean, Isaiah Thomas, he tried to be cool with Bron, but it was like he noticed them dudes weren't practicing. He's not the first person to say that. Jay Crowder said that they weren't practicing. Frank Vogel said that they weren't practicing. Darvin Ham said that the Lakers weren't practicing. How is it that many people have constantly said that the team does not practice? So all of those guys are just making things up. Like I said, man, LeBron is a great player, but his motivation right now is to be talked about and be as relevant as possible. Sasha Vujacic, I can't forget about him. You know, Vladimir Romanovich before he was gone from the team. Sean says before Powell, the Lakers made it towards the semifinals. Actually, no. during that 3-year run, right before they got Pau Gasol in the trade. Well, I mentioned that the Lakers were playing at a 50-win pace, like right before Bynum got hurt. But from 05 to 07, Kobe's team missed the playoffs in 05, and they got bounced in the first round back-to-back years to the Phoenix Suns, one with and without Amari. So they never made it past the first round. They got knocked off in the first round both years, back-to-back. Obviously blowing the 3-1 lead in 06, and then losing in 5 to the Suns in 2007. Yeah, Kobe has said multiple times, man, that he doesn't win without Paul. It was all in the first round. Man, but ladies and gentlemen, this is look, and you see Chael Soenn in the background right there. You see, he's like, "Oops, I opened my big mouth." You honestly believe and think that he feels sorry for Bron right now that he did that? Hell no. Hell no. Like I said, that beef stems from his wife, what he did with that lady with the wheelchair, with the kid, and not signing autographs. And they talk about they got the same drug dealer. That gives them the performance enhancing drugs when you understand how to use it. Man, oh man, I'm telling you right now, this is not looking good. This is not looking good. Look at the Golden State Warriors, ladies and gentlemen. They allowed 131 points to the Memphis Grizzlies, and they allowed 48 points in the first quarter. They can't win on the road. Golden State's team is done. They done. The Warriors are done. This West is pretty weak. And did y'all know that the Lakers have, I believe, more than 300 free throws compared to their opponents ever since the game in Boston where LeBron complained about getting that no foul call? The Lakers have outshot free throws just about every single game except the game against who was the last team that they played? Oh, the Memphis Grizzlies, because both teams shot the same exact amount of free throws. I'm telling you, boy, this is Let me ask you guys a question. Do you guys believe that LeBron is going to break his silence? What do you guys think? You think he's going to break his silence? Ryan says no. Nets postgame show says the Lakers, he never breaks his silence. No. And again, check this out. Didn't the media, like I mentioned, not cover this story at all? It made major headlines. A lot of YouTubers have talked about it, but the media hasn't. Because like I said before, Bron knows. He knows. LeBron knows. You can't tell me he doesn't. He does. Because it wouldn't have been an issue if he didn't know. Or he would have thought that they were defaming his character. But I hate to tell you, I hate to tell it to you people. This is not looking good at all. I'm telling you, it's not. It's not looking good at all. I mean, I believe Dwayne Wade is also linked to that report too. Yeah. They have a history dating back to 2011. Is LeBron exposed? That's the question that we're asking. And the question is, I don't know. Remember that LeBron has also got beef with Kobe Covington because Kobe Covington called him out for his lack of American pride because, oh, by the way, let's also not forget that there's going to be a lot of racial issues on top of that. Probably coming out. Because remember, LeBron is a politician too. After LeBron's actions, I don't think the NBA is going to allow LeBron to own a team, even though LeBron is going to try his best to own one. But I think the fact that they know that he's affiliated with a lot of people from Clutch Sports and has a lot of people with these deals, they're not going to allow an agency to try to run the NBA. Especially, it's like he'll be the first owner to have an entourage in the NBA where he can have link connections and possible tampering. The NBA is not going to allow that. I know Adam Silver is a no backbone alien, but I don't think he even stooped that low. I just don't see it. No, I know people take PEDs in the NBA. Is what I'm saying, that the NBA is going to have, it's going to really have some dark days if this gets exposed, because everybody's going to get tested and they're going to be asking who else is taking them joints. You'll see. You'll see. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the end of the stream. I definitely want to talk more about this, but I'm going to head over and do this game with China and the Czech Republic. Thank you to everybody who was on the stream, guys. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to share the stream. If you guys would like to donate to the channel, you definitely are more than welcome to. Links are in the description on the video below. But I'm going to head over to this game. Had to definitely do this video. All I gotta say is LeBron James is in big trouble, because everything that he's doing is he's trying to stay relevant, and he really doesn't have a plan B right now. That's why he's mentioning about his son pushing him as much as he can, because the more he makes a story about something else, the more attention it takes away from him. But it's going to be very hard to do. Very, very hard. I'm telling you right now. But anyway, I'm going to end the stream and I'm going to head over. If you guys want to come and chill, you can kind of talk about it over there, but I'm going to end the stream. Bless up. Live, laugh, love. Thank you guys for watching. Definitely appreciate you guys. We're going to definitely talk more about this. And like, share, comment, subscribe. You already know what it is. I'm gone. Headed to the next stream. Have a good one, everybody.
You know, so many times, and I just wish they would just stop. You know what I mean? Just stop. I mean, he was, Michael Jordan. I'm Kobe Bryant. I mean, we're two different players, and I wish people would just let it go. It really annoys me because you can't compare.